So hi, I'm John Christian Lang, and I'm the Senior Advisor from the Children Online and Child Participation at Save the Children Denmark. I have a background in psychology and communication, and I'm also a former school teacher for like 6 years or so. The thing I'm going to present now is the project of Super Kids, the EU Super Kids Online, which is a project between 4 countries: Poland, Spain, Italy, and Denmark. And it was a 2-year project, and we had some project goals. The goals was to gather and disseminate new knowledge on online bullying and harassment. And one of our actually key point was, well, like you said, Julia, the bystanders, having them as a big issue in all the talk about the bullying. Then we wanted to provide children with educational tools and learn them how to cope with bullying and harassment. And we also wanted to educate and involve the teachers and the parents, because they are a big group of when children are online. Yeah, this is the 4 partners. Protect Your Lives from Spain, Nobody's Children Foundation from Poland, Save the Children Italy, and of course Save the Children Denmark. Could you be my assistant, please? Thank you. But before I continue, I would very much like to have some feedback from you. So push the button, please. Oh, can I have this? Yeah. That's better. So, if you want to raise your hand, how many of you have a mobile? All the way up and look around in the... Yeah? And how many of you use the internet? That's quite a lot of people. How many of you are on Facebook? And how many of you turn off your mobile in the night? Oh, actually, some do, yeah. And how many of you feel that it's unpleasant to leave the house without your mobile? So actually you're... Yeah, okay. So you're actually kind of like the children that we actually wanted to involve. So that's good. But still there are some age differences. And this is actually one quote, because when we, all the stories in here about cyberbullying and bullying and harassment was actually made from a lot of interviews with children. And one of the sessions I started with this, I said, when I was a child, we had no computers. And one of the kids said, well, how did you get on the internet then? So actually there are a huge difference, and we had to understand the lives of the children and not being too adult in our approach to the children. So that was one of the key factors in making these e-learning modules. This is a typical teen day. We call it the zone. And we actually, in Denmark, try to map how was a typical day as a teen. You see, you wake up in the morning, you have breakfast, you go to school, first break, you have lunch, you have spare time activities, you go home, you have dinner, you have homework, and you go to sleep. And in Denmark, in the meanwhile, you check the web or the mobile. In Denmark, when you are 10 years old, 98% of the children have a mobile phone, and a lot of them are smartphones. So actually, before you have breakfast, you kind of take the mobile out from under your pillow and you check Facebook or whatever to see if anyone has written you. And then this arrow just to mark them, and then a new day starts. So the topics we covered in the e-learning module was that each partner country has developed actually 2 e-learning modules to help and guide children to be able to cope with online dilemmas they encounter every day, such as cyberbullying. And I have like the thing around the cyber, because in Denmark we don't talk about cyberbullying, we could talk about bullying, because cyberbullying and offline bullying is so much linked together. Then, of course, grooming and privacy, because that in Italy, for instance, grooming was a huge issue. And all the modules are based on true stories that the project partners have found through focus group interviews with kids aged 10 to 13. But actually, I think one of the interviews was in Poland. You were up to like 15 or so. So it's real stories, and the children wanted the real stories, and they wanted to have be involved in how to create the stories. And also, there's no right answer in our approach to the e-learning modules, and that's a huge thing. I think it's like that in your e-learning modules, isn't it, Jacob? Oh, maybe not. The main pedagogical point is to connect that everyday life kids face dilemmas that are not easy to solve. One answer can feel right for one person and another answer for another person. The point is to make the kids discuss the options, maybe even create their own options. And most important of all, make them consider the consequences of their choice. So you actually made the e-learning modules a bit complicated, so you couldn't as a child just, well, this is what the teacher wanted me to answer. We made it complicated so they could discuss the answers afterwards. And the modules are like this in Italy, and in Spain, and in Poland, and as we will hear a little bit more about after me, and then in Denmark. Just to show you how we created the modules. I'll just have some water. So this is the real story over here. It says, my best friend Karen is the youngest in the class. The boys are often pretty rough on her, and they think it's funny to push her real hard into things at school or to smack her with a ruler. So she gets marks on her arms. I think it's too much. I would be very sad if it was me, but it does not look like Karen bothers about it. I mean, she's laughing about it very often. Of course, she also cries when it hurts too much, but she never really says stop, and she never says anything to our teacher. But lately, it's like Karen has been more quiet and sad. But what should I do? I mean, it can't be bullying when she's laughing about it, can it? And maybe the boys will do the same thing to me if I try to help. Please help me, what should I do? So this is actually a real story. So we of course anonymized it, and then we wanted to, because in e-learning you are kind of not in the real world, but we wanted to make it really what was called the real feeling for the kids. So we actually had you could pick some choices, and then you could have what Sophie wanted, and then whatever choices you had, you could have the immediate response from Karen, the girl who was bullied. And it was very well taken in the class. I won't read the next. Oh, sorry. Just to make you show that there's a progress, and we follow the kids around for like 3 months. And then after 3 months, Sophie and her not so good friend 3 months later. So things evolve in the e-learning modules. Yeah. So this is the Danish models. I won't test them out now, we don't have the time. But as you can see, they are also made for the tablet, that you can easily do it on an iPad or anything else. So, in the process of making this out into the children, we actually made the e-learning modules, 2 in each country. We had the teacher's manual connected to the e-learning module so that the teachers could actually know right from wrong. And we had some education and workshops with the children, so they were kind of taught how to tell about dilemmas online. And then we had T-shirt and USB materials that we give to the children, because one thing is to learn about it in school, but the children have to tell about it at home. So we gave them T-shirts and USB sticks. So when they brought them home, the parents would be like, well, what is that? And then they could say, well, it's something that we learned in school. And actually I have some gifts for you afterwards. Here are some T-shirts and USB sticks. So after the presentation, you're welcome to grab one and take home with you. But the T-shirts are from children. So, yeah. And maybe you take over. Now we hear about the Polish version.
Dzień dobry Państwu, Łukasz Wojtasik, Fundacja Dziecięcej.
Good afternoon. My name is Łukasz Wojtasik and I represent Nobody's Children Foundation. We were one of the partners of the project you are hearing about. I know that we are already in the lunch break and I will try not to take more than 5 minutes of your time. As you have already heard, those educational projects were prepared as part of our Daphne Super Kids Online project. They focused on bullying, on cyberbullying, and on privacy protection online. As part of this project, we prepared 2 educational modules, e-learning modules. The first one was focused on bullying. We talk about cyberbullying, but indeed, cyberbullying is very much related to other forms of bullying and aggression. There are so many interlinks, and they should be perceived together. In our e-learning modules, we talk about bullying, not only cyberbullying. Our proposal was, where is Mimi? I will tell you briefly what they are about. However, you can read more about them. They are part of your conference package with video material on a CD-ROM. So our module, where is Mimi? It is about bullying, targeting children aged between 10 and 13 and showing them what bullying really is and how media, how mobile appliances can be used in the process of bullying and how to behave if you are a witness of bullying. This is a very important element of all our materials that target bullying. We prepared a 20-minute video. The story takes place in a middle secondary school. Mimi does not come to school one day. She runs away from home, and it turns out that this girl has been having problems for a long time. People accuse her of running a blog, defaming other children. Children turned against her. And in this video, the school headmaster, as well as other teachers, tried to resolve the situation, to explain to children. We can see talks to friends of Mimi, and we present the problem of bullying, including cyberbullying. These are the most important bits of information which we then return to during our class activities. And what you have here is a number of screenshots of our training module, e-learning module that is available on our website. We have our helpline consultants who provide commentary for these modules with frequently asked questions on e-learning. This material is available on a CD-ROM. There you will be able to see the video and the screenplay or scenario for a 2-hour activity in a classroom. Our next e-learning module is a lesson on safety. It pertains mainly to safety in relation to social network. We focus on uploading material, publishing material, about not logging out of social networks after you stopped using them, accepting people you do not know as friends, and all other issues that are connected with protecting your privacy and protecting your personal data online. So we've got the e-learning module with some videos. We also propose teachers to have a traditional class with those students. These are short videos that show how children act in classrooms, what they say about situations connected with the use of the internet and social media. We have some quizzes, class discussion, and the overall objective of this e-learning module is to work through the principles of safety online, in particular when using social networks. This is a very brief description, and I would like you to encourage to go through the material we have provided as part of your conference materials package. Thank you.